Lambsy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Season 2, Twin Peaks.
I'm back!
Episode 8 in the series. When people think of Twin Peaks, this is what they think of. Story by Mark and David. Script by Mark Frost. Directed by David Lynch. Hour and a half, too. And we get a Mark Frost cameo. He's the newscaster. We pick up on the cliffhanger. We got the world's best room service. It's super Lynch. It breathes. It morphs. Coop is in and out of consciousness, or is he? He has a vision of a giant, takes his ring, gives him 3 pieces of advice, the smiling bag, the owls aren't what they seem, and without chemicals, he points. Hey, we should post the owls aren't what they seem super cut. Cops come, Coop goes to the hospital. We have one of the best exposition dumps of all time. Lucy brings Coop up to speed, rapid fires everything that happened last episode, and he's like, how long have I been out for? It's just been overnight. It's been the most action Twin Peaks has seen since some fire in the 50s. One of his bullets stopped a wood tick, and we get to see a cool, extreme close-up on a bullet. Leland's hair turned completely white. He sings that little ditty, Maresy Dotes and Dozy Dotes. He sings it to the whole family. Maddie has got some particles of Twin Peaks seeping into her pores. She is now being affected. Got her first weird dream, which really makes Aunt Sarah perk up. Then she gets her also first hallucination. She better watch her ass. Leland goes back to work singing the same old song, and it's one of the best scenes ever with Ben and Jerry. They don't even question him. They just see him coming in and they join him in an amazing dance. Those two super pissed off at Hank because he didn't kill Leo good enough. Donna turns cool. She goes to the jail, smoking, drinking on a Tuesday night. She got shades on. She gets catcalled when she walks into the Twin Peaks Sheriff Station. We're in and out of the hospital all episode. Numerous characters. Albert arrives back in town. At the hospital, we all find out that Big Ed shot Nadine's eye out. Albert loves the story. At the Double R, Bobby happens to go there while his dad's in a booth, so we get a cool Garland Briggs, Bobby Briggs scene that's foreshadowing season 3, 2 decades prior. Garland tells him his dream, makes Bobby cry. We meet Kirsten Hayworth, which is a little junior high Alicia Witt. Up until now, we didn't even know there was 3 Hayworth sisters. Andy confronts Albert. He's not having it anymore. It kind of impresses Lucy. Ronette wakes up. Audrey, prisoner at One-Eyed Jack's. They're not letting her leave. She got a locked door and a bodyguard. And we see Bob. It's only the second time in the series. This is a very David Lynch episode. I mentioned in the beginning of this talking head, this is what people think of when they think of Twin Peaks. And that's the truth. Episode 9, which is 2-2, Coma. It's directed by David Lynch again. Harley Payton wrote it. Right off the bat, the first mention of Wyndham Earl. My friend Steve Mayo, who was in the Naked Movie Stars, was also the bass player for the band Wyndham Earl. Great name. We see Mrs. Tremont and her nephew, which is a little baby Austin Lynch. So we got some Fire Walk With Me going there. And this is a cream corn heavy episode. I love that cream corn just disappears off the plate. Doesn't really phase out of that much. This episode had 2 things in it that I didn't like as a child. Andy not being able to work Scotch tape. He's just taping up one "Have you seen this man?" which it's completely ridiculous, and I like and respect it now. But as a stoned, super judgmental stoned kid, we were like, that's retarded. Also, this is the Just You episode.
Just you.
I've watched Twin Peaks with so many girlfriends, their friends, my friends. There wasn't a single person that ever liked Just You. And Lynch brought it back in season 3. That's so nuts. I fucking cheered when he played it at the Roadhouse in season 3. All of us Twin Peaks fans were like, oh, do you think this will be in it? In a million years, I wouldn't have guessed Just You is coming back. It's the first time we see Bob in the real world, unless like the train car is the real world. It's a hallucination, so that's iffy anyway. But he's in the Palmer's home. That's what I mean by real world. This is the famous where he comes over the couch. Second hallucination in 2 days for Maddie. I guess it is season 2, episode 2. Major Briggs talks to the log lady. He actually talks to the log. She has to translate, deliver the message. Do you understand? do. And he goes and tells Coop the owls are not what they seem. Came from space. So did Cooper. We meet Harold Smith, the shut-in. We kind of see his finger. He peeks out through the window. But we're introduced to him on the phone. Andy can't have kids, so that's why he's all confused about, if you're preggers, it's not mine. Audrey finds Emery doing some weird sex stuff. Vacuum cleaner, ice, nail polish, ropes. Ronette Pulaski wakes up, flips out when she sees Bob. But before that, we get the infamous I can't get the chairs down scene. It's so long and wonderful. I was just talking with Jennifer today about the sweeping the roadhouse in season 3 and the old man trying to hang up the phone last episode. Lynch just loves those long, let it breathe scenes. We find out that Hank Jennings grew up with Harry and used to be a bookhouse boy. And we end with Audrey calling up Cooper. It's a kind of an infuriating phone call too. Why wouldn't she be like, get your ass here, save me? But it's interrupted by Emery and Blackie. Episode 10. That's 2, 3. The Man Behind the Glass. Another Leslie Linka Glatter, and it is filled with firsts. We've seen his fingers and heard his voice, but we get to meet Harold Smith, Jean Reno, the wonderful Michael Parks, Dick Tremaine, Jacoby's wife, and Blackie's sister. 5 new characters. Also, to you sharp, eagle-eyed folks, a couple new cops. Featured extras, regular extras, not featured extras. They would have a line to be a featured extra. But this is a straight-up Season 2 jam-packed fun factory. The beginning of Season 2, it's so strong. We open with Ronette. She got messed with. Someone tampered with her IV. She joined the Ladies with the Letters Under Your Fingernail Club. I forgot to tell you yesterday, Leland saw the Bob poster and freaked out. I know him. But that was then. This is now. Now, he goes to talk to the local law enforcement to tell them, I know this guy. He flicked matches at me. So Hawk's on the case for that. Coop comes clean. He tells Truman and Albert, I saw a giant. 3 clues, whole deal. Harry, Albert, round 2. They're fighting. Almost. This is the wonderful, I tend to live my life in the ways of Gandhi and King speech. It's a wonderful speech, and it ends with Albert declaring, I love you, Sheriff Truman. Albert's path is a strange and difficult one. Oh, and speaking of, Donna says Mr. Smith is an oddball, but everyone's an oddball if you look close enough, and she says that at Laura's grave. She goes to yell at Laura. We got it. Forced heroin and VHS. Donna busts Maddie and James. Once holding hands at the double R, once smooching. She storms out and goes to Harold Smith's. But prior to that, Nadine is a maniac. She's got so much adrenaline flowing through her. She's ripping straps. Big Ed sings a song to her. While she's chained up, she busts out. She hurts his hand. She comes to. She is Nadine, only in the wrong timeline. She's an 18-year-old senior cheerleader. Dr. Jacoby gets hypnotized. Leland's busted for felony capital murder. James's mom, you remember that stupid that fucking she's back, and James says, I hate my mom. That leads to the smooch, which that leads to Donna busting the smooch. She goes and finds, written by Jennifer Chambers Lynch, The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. Episode 11, which is Season 2, Episode 4, Laura's Secret Diary. And we got some all-star crew, directed by Todd Holland. If you go through his filmography, he's directed a bunch of cool, like 1 or 2 episodes of like so many different shows. But there's one that he directed a bunch of. Malcolm in the Middle, he directed like 20-something, but I'm talking 50-something. The Larry Sanders Show, one of my favorites. He directed 2 episodes in Season 2. And then our writer is Jerry Stahl. That dude wrote Night Dreams and Cafe Flash, and Permanent Midnight, and Dr. Caligari. I brought props today. Okay, we had 5 new characters yesterday. We kinda have 5 new characters today. I can make it work. Well, first of all, there's been a secret Asian man that we've seen twice so far. I've not brought him up yet. He's been featured in the background, and he's been camera pass over him with emphasis on him keep going. So clearly our eye is supposed to be drawn to him. That's Brother Jonathan, Josie's brother. We also have Tojimura, who has checked into the Great Northern. Probably my least favorite character in all of Twin Peaks, but that's okay. It's still good. We meet Louie, which is an actor that David Lynch loved. He put her in a bunch of little things, and I just found out that she's in The Return. I've seen The Return 4 times, and I never noticed her. I wonder if it's supposed to be the same character, just grown up from a desk clerk to a doctor. She's the overzealous desk clerk, because M.T. Wentz is coming to town, the famous food critic. We meet the judge. The Winnebago judge is here. They broke the mold with that one. And we meet Toad, who is a super cool extra in the Double R. We've seen him in a couple episodes. He's the big kind of lumberjack looking dude. Well, now he's a featured extra. We're also minus another character. Emery, smoked, dead. Well, we got Jean Reno now. We don't need Emery. I love him. He's a great character actor. Jean brings Ben Horn a VHS tape of his daughter tied up. He loses it, and he says, this is the amount of money I want. I also want to be a partner in One-Eyed Jacks, and Cooper needs to bring the money tomorrow. Coop's not supposed to tell anyone. He needs a secret bookhouse boy meeting. He gets the best guy they have. A little bit of a hoodwink going on. It's Harry S. Truman. Maddie and Donna, they bury the hatchet. Screw James and his mom. They're going to steal Laura's diary. Andy drops some sperm. Coop realizes we need to talk to the one-armed man again. They're always looking for him. Like I said, M.T. Wentz is coming to town. That actually kind of makes Norma and Hank bond. They got to make the Double R look nice. Dick Tremaine wants Lucy to get an abortion. That's messed up. She don't like that. She brings the pain to his ass. And we have a lightning machine on set. This is the lightning episode. It's everywhere. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. I dropped my sperm. Episode 12, The Orchid's Curse, written by Barry Pullman, directed by Graham Clifford. That dude is a filmmaker. I have like 6 movies with his name on him. He was an editor. First 3 films he ever worked on, all Robert Altman. Then he moved on to Nicholas Roeg, and he cut Rocky Horror Picture Show. Masterful fella. Made one mistake. We'll get to it. We open with Coop. Upside down Coop. He finally sees the letter. Remember when the giant came and told him 3 clues? Well, he actually came back that night and said, you forgot something. That finally comes to fruition today. Upside down Coop sees Audrey's note. So now they don't have to follow Benjamin Horne's plan. Now they can do their own plan. Leo's almost at home. David Lander is selling them some wheelchair equipment. That's Squiggy. And he does some Squiggy stuff. Then they go to bar court. Leland's court case, Leo's court case. And they drink Black Yukon sucker punches. I Googled that. I don't think it's a real thing. In bar court, we get a little interesting nugget. The judge asks Coop how long he's been in town. 12 days. And this is episode 12. It's 13 if you count the pilot. But still, this is a big Harold Smith episode. We have Donna telling him a sexy dance story. She's kind of doing a Laura while she's talking about like 13-year-old skinny dipping with dudes from the bar. It was a different time back in the 90s. We were all drinking Black Yukon sucker punches. So Coop and Harry sneak off. They leave out Hawk and they go to save Audrey. There's like some gangsters doing some gangster shit. Harry's punching people in the nuts, taping balls in their mouth, all while Cooper is transfixed by an owl. It's weird to see him not on the top of his game, but Harry is. We get to see a lot of One-Eyed Jacks. They're going through corridors and stuff. Coop punches a woman. We got a bunch of taboos in this one. Go Graham Clifford. Jean Reno kills Blackie. That's technically his sister-in-law. They save Audrey. They get pinched on the way out. Busted. Has to drop his gun, turn around. Wham! Hawk straight up kills a man with a throwing knife. So they all get away. But then we see Hank Jennings hiding in the shadows. He's supposed to be. Ben made him do it. But then Jean gets the jump on him, and he's got federal credentials. Oh my, what is that about? You'd think that's the end, but no. You gotta go back to some more Harold Smith. During Sexy Story Dance, they have a little vino, and then they go to look at orchids, because it's all a ruse. Maddie's sneaking in to steal the journal. Secret diary, that is. They get busted, because they ain't slick. We get the infamous garden claw to the face. We thought that was the funniest shit in high school. The claw has pre-made blood on it that is supposed to rake down. This is the mistake from Mr. Graham. While he's threatening, he touches his cheek real fast. Harold gets it on his cheek before he even starts the effect. Episode 13, Demons. Harley Payton, Robert Engels, they wrote it together. Leslie Linka Glatter, her third time in the director's chair. We open back at Harold Smith's. He's still flipping out from his thing. Girls are freaked out. They're trying to get the journal. It's not working. They kind of got it. It's not working more. James Hurley busts in, saves the day. They don't get the journal. And then one of the funniest things happen. They go outside. He says, after Laura died, everything went by so fast. Bitch, what are you talking about? It's been a week and a half. Smash cut to Heroin Audrey. They find out that she is, in fact, Heroin Audrey, missed an overdose by this much. His words. But you want to know the main thing about demons? Two biggies. First of all, Gordon Cole, Coop's boss, the head of the FBI. David Lynch. Small Mexican chihuahua. He's amazing. He's loud talking all over the place. Just a couple hours ago, they were killing fools up in Canada. No one lets Cole know that. We get a little bit of Big Ed and Strong Nadine. She wants to go necking. She wonders where her parents are. Yesterday, she pulled off a mini fridge door. She's still super strange. Leo is home, officially home. Bobby and Shelley realize they're not getting squat for money. They party, they make out, they shove a kazoo in his mouth. He passes out in the cake, and we get to go have a little, I think Maddie's getting ready to leave. James has a sit down with her. It's pretty cool because it's the first time we hear the Twin Peaks theme, the opening titles theme, at full volume from the first note. And it's outside at the water with trees, so it literally sounds like a new Twin Peaks episode is starting. It's kind of funny and noteworthy. And Maddie's scarf perfectly matches her lips, her eyeshadow, and James's lips. It's 4 pinks in a circle. Josie's leaving town. I think she had marital relations with her brother, and she has to go get her money from Ben Horn. It turns into blackmail versus blackmail. They call a stalemate. It's actually Josie's probably best scene in the entire series. He doesn't even care that they just had a stalemate. He is literally so proud of her for stepping up her evil game. Stupid Tajimura is around town, and she gets to have a little one-on-one time with Pete Martell. How you like them apples? He tries to buy her a milk. We track down the one-armed man, and we do not give him his medicine. Sheriff Truman wants to give him the chemicals. Coop says, no way, let's see what happens. He's like your antagonistic drug friend from junior high. But they do see what happens, and we meet Mike, the inhabiting spirit of Philip Gerard. He's the host. That's the same as Bob. And we end with one of the best stings for closing credits. The Great Northern. It is happening again. Episode 14, Lonely Souls. Kind of the beginning of a trilogy. I've never heard anyone say that before, but I'm going with it. David Lynch, Caleb Deschanel, Tim Hunter, 14, 15, 16. It is a powerhouse before we go off into Bonkersville. Written by Mark Frost, directed by David Lynch. If you're watching this on YouTube, too bad, but I am going to re-release my old Twin Peaks supercut. It's only on Twitter. It'll stay on Instagram, Facebook, iffy, but there is so much footage from this episode in that. This is the crying episode. This is the spotlight episode. This is the double Mike and Bobby episode. We open with Lynch and the boys. He's taken off. They're going to the Great Northern with a bunch of sailors bouncing balls. They got the one-armed man. He's going to see if he picks up on any vibes. And he does. Ben Horn. Then Harold Smith kills himself. I am a lonely soul. That's his note. A lesser man than myself would say suicide. But he committed suicide. So he's done for. So's Tojimura, thank God. Leo speaks. New shoes. So Mike and Bobby, one, go try to figure out what's in the new shoes, and they find a tape. Shelley has to quit the double R. She cries. Ben's in a meeting with Tojimura. He gets arrested straight up. And right before that, he was super truthful with Audrey and said that he loved Laura Palmer and humped her. Everyone loves that girl, except for Bob. But then again, he might have just loved her to death. So Ben's off to the clink. That allows Tojimura to go see Jack Nance and French kiss him. But it's okay. It was Catherine the whole time, his wife. in stupid makeup. It's so dumb you have to kind of love it. Sarah Palmer is cashed out. She's crawling down the stairs backwards. She's crawling on the floor. She's seeing a horse. It's not from drinking too much. Her hubby drugged her. Man, there's so many keywords. This YouTube video is going to get covering all our bases for a shadow ban. While that's going on, the log lady brings the boys to the roadhouse for the best Julie Cruz performance ever. She sings Rockin' Back Inside My Heart, my favorite of her songs of all time. Log Lady and Sheriff Truman are both rocking out. Coop, stone, non-affected. Our old decrepit waiter is there. Of course he is. He's linked to the giant. We get the famous shot of Julie Cruz looking kind of down with her eyes closed. That's from this. But during the next song, when everything starts to go down, the world spins, Donna cries, Bobby cries, because remember, it is happening again. So back at the Palmer house, it's spotlight time. We got a spotlight on the horse. Well, even back there, we got a spotlight on the giant, a spotlight on Coop. We got a spotlight on Maddie, and she's El Rocho because Bob killed her. Of course, Mike and Bob, one arm previous, Bob current. A little bit of Leland seeps through Bob. Laura, my baby. But Bob keeps just overpowering.
Hey, Dad?
Going back to Missoula, Montana. Episode 15, Drive with the Dead Girl. Directed by Caleb Deschanel. Written by Scott Frost. You may know him from his 2 books on Coop and Diane and the tapes. He's also Mark Frost's brother. We got Bob having fun. We got Bob having fun this whole episode. He's golfing. He's dancing. It's all done through Leland. He's Fred Astaire. Our junior detective stopped by. They missed Maddie. She basically already left. Ben's in jail. Bobby's making Ben a mixtape, making a tape with a tape. He's going to save, it's a new plan to save Shelley from poverty. It's not the best timed plan. He doesn't know Ben's in the clink, but his heart's in the right place. We meet a couple new characters, Vivian and Ernie. Vivian is Norma Jennings' mom. There's no other reason why she's in town. She just wants to show off her new husband. Ernie, that guy's James Booth from American Ninja 4, The Domination. They're holding the one-armed man under lock and key with security until he gets a little wonky, formulates a plan, go get me this, hit you with this. He escapes. I wonder where he really went. For the camera pan, he must have jumped over the bed because I highly doubt he jumped out the window. So he's on the run. He's also captured almost right away. They find him at the waterfall. Bob and Leland are still having fun. They get pulled over by Coop and Truman, and it looks like he almost tall chalked Coop right in the head. Saved by the buzzer, they're gone. It's the one-armed man. How's that for a quinky dink? And you want to know something crazy? While Leland and Bob are going on a weird drive, singing a song, Harry and Coop are going toward them. They have to be talking about bad drivers. It's hack writing. No offense, Mr. Frost. But right before they intersect, Coop is whistling the song that Leland is singing. Jerry's a bad lawyer. They have a flashback to the flashlight dancing. He tells Truman, let my brother go or book him. And he books him. Coop doesn't agree with it, but he backs down. Audrey offers herself to Coop, way more subtle this time, but it's interrupted by a dead body, probably by the waterfall. It's by the water. Laura is wrapped in plastic once again. Arbitrary law. It should have been called That Gum You Like Is Gonna Come Back in Style. I guess I can forgive them. We open with slow-mo. Tim Hunter directed this one. Frost, Peyton, Engels. All 3 of them wrote this one. They gotta figure out this Maddie thing and the Laura thing, the whole thing, the Twin Peaks thing, the ABC thing, pretty much. They all get his back. Albert even tells them, do what you gotta do. Go on a vision quest. Stand on the rim of a volcano. We have some James and Donna stuff. There's a ring. We have some Norma and her mom critiquing food. Andy's saying some gibberish. Donna overhears it. It's the last words of Harold Smith. And she's like, where did you hear that? I gotta go tell Coop. So that's kind of his first step. And that's right where we cut to. At Harold Smith's and the Tremons. The Tremons aren't the Tremons anymore. But she has a letter. She hands it over. They had the exact same dream. But that's impossible. Yes, it is. But now we gotta go see the one-armed man. He teaches Coop about appetite and satisfaction, the golden circle, like ring. Another step. Then we get a lot of Bob, because Leland and Bob almost snuff out Donna. She's saved at the last minute. She takes off on foot. She meets up with James. And James has had it. He's going to go off on his own little walkabout, more like a motorcycle about, fixing to go to the dumbest possible B plot. But don't get sidetracked. You always do this. Don't get sidetracked. Follow with me. We got to have a powwow. We got to have a golden circle of humans. And they do that at the Roadhouse. Tons of cool people are there. The old waiter's there. Of course he is. But we even saw him earlier. That was actually one of the first steps. I skipped it. It's okay. That gum you like is going to come back in style. Comes full circle. It kicks off something in Coop's mind. He does a little trickery. Ben Horn, you're busted. Leland, you might want to come and represent your boy. They get him to the station right when Ben's going in the holding cell. Clink. You're free to go, Ben. Leland busted. Laura's dad has officially, if it hasn't been obvious in these last three, killed his daughter. He says it. He admits it. Bob does. Ray Wise is acting his ass off. I hope that new people who only know him from Tim and Eric can grasp the realism what's going on. Because sometimes knowing someone from something can taint other somethings, you know? Anyways, the smoke alarms go off because there's another plot. Lucy's baby, smoking cigarettes, water everywhere, makes for a cool-ass scene. Very atmospheric. This is directed so well. Tim Hunter's just doing the Tim Hunter thing. Perfect for this. Leland smashes his head. They're trying to get the door open. It's raining and the keys dropped. Smashes his head. While he's bleeding out, there's an amazing speech about what's next in life, and he dies. And then all the slow motion guys we started with back in the same spot in the woods, talking about what makes people do fucked up shit. Episode 17, Dispute Between Brothers. Stupidest title they've had so far. Should have been called Bond Against Dying. Directed by Tina Rathburn, written by Trisha Brock. We're getting ready for Leland's funeral. Coop is talking to Sarah about Leland's come to Jesus moment. He whisper delivers this whole thing. It's long and it never shows him once. It's all on Grace Zabriski's face, Sarah Palmer, the whole time. It's beautiful. It's the best part of this whole movie, besides Bond Against Dying. We don't see the funeral. We do see the wake, which has those two old brothers arguing. It's ham-fisted and wiggity whack. Most people would say the best thing about that is Nadine, when she thinks boys are looking up her dress with her reflective shoes. It is pretty funny. But I say the star of that scene. Two things. First, the subtlety of Donna Hayward. The way she looks at Nadine and then Big Ed during the mirror shoes thing. And then the way she grabs a plate of food from the brothers bickering. Very subtle touches. I'm liking Donna Hayward a lot on this pass. She was kind of overlooked in the past. Never really liked her, never really hated her. She was kind of in the middle, which that's kind of a bummer spot to be. But at this wake, Sarah Palmer talks about a sleepover that Laura and Donna had. I remember they stayed up all night and they made a bond against dying. Long and drawn out. They made a bond against dying. I might just jack that title. Nadine goes to school. They let her in. She went to cheerleader tryouts. They kind of scoffed at first, but then she threw a boy through the air. And that was some weird Tina directing. When she went to grab him, they took the footage and reversed it, paused it, reversed it, paused it, and then threw it. What the fuck is going on? M.T. Wentz finally reviewed the double R. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was Donna Hayward. But then we find out that's Norma's mom. It makes her cry. Bobby's cockamamie get-rich-quick scheme, but he goes to do that, he fails. Audrey steps in, she's about to smooth it over for him. Coop is going fishing with the major. Green butt skunk. But first, Internal Affairs stops by with a Canadian fella, Brad from Superman 3. They take his badge, they take his gun. He's in trouble for his 2 trips to Canada. Luckily, in this episode, he also gets his Bookhouse Boys badge. We later find out that Brad from Superman 3 is working for Jean Renault. So he's playing both sides, but Coop has to go fishing with Major Briggs. They hang out. They talk about the bad forces that happen in this world. Major Briggs brings up the White Lodge. What is this White Lodge? Well, first, I'm going to go urinate into the open air. Not the best decision because we get a flash of light, a mysterious being in the shadows, and then Major Briggs is motherfucking gone. So much for hearing about the White Lodge. They yak, they schmack, a lot of yakety schmacking. Episode 18 is called Masked Ball. Now this episode has tons of great lyrics, and it's just so many fails. This should have been called, my brother and I say this to each other all the time, Let a Smile Be Your Umbrella. I would have also accepted Dweller on the Threshold. The close third would have been The King Must Die. 3 great lines. Masked Ball. Written by Barry Pullman, directed by Dwayne Dunham, his second of 3. And he is Lynch's boy. That dude's the man. He's an all-around filmmaker, but boy is he an editor. He cut the pilot of Twin Peaks, he cut Blue Velvet, and he cut all 18 hours of The Return. We open with some bullshit ass anytime you hear that. It's almost like the editor, who's not Dwayne Dunham, signaling the audience, we're in for some bullshit. James meets Evelyn at that bar that's not in Twin Peaks. They yak, they schmack, a lot of yakety schmacking, but we do get to hear I'm Hurt Bad. James plays it on the jukebox. Then we have the Major's wife. She's meeting with the boys. They can't figure out where he's at. Half the questions they ask her, this is amazing, are classified. So she's as tight-lipped as her hubby. That's classified. Jason, do you think this episode should have been called Masked Ball? That's classified. It's the opposite of classified. I gave you 3 alternates. Nadine's in school. She's pumping iron. She's trying to impress Mike. She actually approaches Donna to say, I like Mike. He does have some cute buns. I forgot to tell you yesterday that Josie collapsed into Truman's cabin in the middle of the night. Now she spills her guts to him, and that's whatevs. Ben is losing his mind. Catherine ganked Ghostwood and the mill from him. Now today, Hank and his Canadian bad guys snatched One-Eyed Jacks. He literally just has the Great Northern left. He's watching old films, he's singing the blues, he's growing out a beard. He's thinking about rearranging the furniture. Teen Wolf gets married to one of those dumb brothers, and Denise is in the house. We end with Josie going back to Catherine. What can I do? Spills the beans on everything. Tells her about Eckhart. We gotta watch out for Thomas Eckhart. He killed your brother, my husband, Andrew Packard. Forgot to tell you, the beginning of the scene started on Andrew Packard. Picture of him. Zoom out. Over the shoulder, over the shoulder, over the shoulder. Go away. And then, well, I'll be Andrew Packard walks out. Kane, old soap opera style, big time. The right before they cut to his picture and did the final scene, prior scene should have been someone watching an episode of Invitation to Love. That would have been like calling your shot. Maybe a little too on the nose. But it's so soap opera that you could have forgiven whatever was on your nose. Episode 19, The Black Widow. Written by Peyton and Engels, and it's a good one. It's a comedy one. Directed by Caleb Deschanel, his last 07. Thank you for your service. Bobby finally gets his job from Ben. Crazy Ben. He's on assignment. Teen Witch kills her husband. Sorry that I called her Teen Wolf yesterday. One of 3 mistakes. Or were they? That's Robin Lively. She plays Lena. Coop is looking for properties. It's up to 2. Coin toss. It lands on this weird one. What is this? It's Dead Dog Farm. Coop loves it. He wants to see it. They go to see it. James is with that lady. We meet her brother, the chauffeur driver. He's talking in code. I love one of his lines though. That's the thing about things. Teen Witch has mesmerized every guy in the world, and like I said up front, this is the comedy episode. It starts with Hawk, are you the sheriff? No, but I'm the man, when some big's going down, and then Andy opens the door and he falls in. He's trying to oppress her. We get the amazing Black Indian speech from our wrestling coach. Nadine has joined wrestling. She manhandles Mike. I'm not going to give the joke away, but it's awesome. It's about a racist guy. He didn't want a black guy on his team. Nadine wasted Mike. Hobbles up to Donna. What happened to you? I got beat up by a girl. There's a couple examples of jokes. Josie Packard is the maid now. I like her messy maid hair. Bobby did his deed for Ben, took these photos, turned them in. Audrey stole them, brought them to Coop. It's going to save his butt. Denise stops by, sees Coop with this young vixen. She kisses him, and she's so excited that they allow women into the bureau. My favorite joke of the whole thing is Denise is like, ooh, she's a little young, isn't she? I didn't think that you would still like the ladies. I might be wearing a dress, but I still put my panties on one leg at a time. You know what I mean? Coop's response? Not really. This is the return of the lightning machine. Caleb Deschanel signing off 3 scenes in a row. Ernie got busted. I forgot to tell you that. Part of the dead dog cocaine photos. Denise brings him in. They're sweating him down. Major lightning machine. They're going to set up a buy with him. We cut to, on lightning flash, back to James. He's listening to the wife getting beat. Hit her once for me. Oh, you can't make jokes like that nowadays, can you? Then the third scene, Bobby Briggs. Betty Briggs is sitting alone in her house. She's sad. Major Briggs is still gone. Bobby gets a chance to rehash that chance meeting that they had at the Double R. She likes the story. Blackout. Still lightning machine. And in the blackout, Briggs is back, dressed like the Red Baron. Bobby, put that cigarette out. Make me a drink. Strong one. She goes and hugs him. Are you all right? His answer, no, dear. Not really. Episode 20, Checkmate. Todd Holland's final episode. We open with 90s graphics, VFX. Garland is sitting in a dreamscape as he recalls what happened to him. He's got the 3 triangle tattoo now. He really only remembers an owl. Ernie's getting prepped for his sting. Andy and Dick are doing that stupid orphanage shit. Shelly's bummed. Bobby's pumped. He's going to work for Ben. James phones home for the last $12 that are in his bank account. Big Ed passes a note to Norma. We need to talk. Ben's playing his war games. Audrey is worried about him. Coop gets deputized. Dick and Anthony with the orphanage stuff. Sub Rosa actually break in. They tell this family the kid died. Dead tired. I think Big Ed and Norma hump. Her 3-3 Domino's husband doesn't like that. Punches him a couple times. Nadine comes in and whoops his ass. We gotta go do that cocaine buy. He sweats through his shirt, steams it up. He's busted as a narc. Coop goes in. It goes into probably the best thing of this episode, besides the opening shot. Him and John have this big talk. Well, Coop's just listening. He looks cool with a cut underneath his eye. And he tells him, this used to be a simple place before you got here. And after you've been here, simple dreams become nightmares. This is called Checkmate. There's a chess motif last couple episodes. Checkmate is a fucking stupid title. What about the motif? There is no checkmate. We're in like the opening 4 moves. Simple dreams become nightmares. New name, I call it. Denise became Dennis. Now Dennis is back to Denise in a Double R uniform, pulling some okey doke. And before you let the okey doke, you gotta let the pistol smoke on the leg. Pop kills Jean Renault. Peace, buddy. And then there's a power outage. They find out when they get back to the station after all that hoopla. They sense something's off. Coop goes and checks in this room. Dead guy. Wire wrapped hand to this move. And that was episode 20. Simple dreams become nightmares. Episode 21, double play. Uli Edel, he directed Last Exit to Brooklyn though, so he's in my cool book for life. We pick right up with the aftermath of Wyndham Earle's pointing. His mind is like a diamond. We find more about Caroline. She was a material witness. Wyndham Earle was his partner. We did not know until now Caroline was Wyndham Earle's wife. Bad Coop. Andy can't work rubber gloves just like he can't work scotch tape. Heaven awakened Leo. He's up. He's mad. He's whooping Shelly's ass. This is coma Leo. He should be weak as hell. Bobby comes by. Varsity athlete comes through and Leo's beating him up. He's like reverse coma Leo. But don't worry, Shelly stabs him in the leg and he runs off into the night. We meet Jeffrey Marsh. Jeffrey Marsh also dies, but he's in a flight suit, not like a Major Briggs flight suit, like a Detroit, Baltimore, Compton flight suit. I had a very similar one in 7th or 8th grade, junior high. James Hurley does a bunch of bad acting. I wonder if he's doing it on purpose because we're like super in the soap opera times. He does some window acting and he does some pole acting. I'm going to, in my next film, someone's going to deliver a line, turn and look out the window to respond. And if you watch this short and Side Boob Massacre, you'll be able to say, I know why he did that. Donna comes to that town to look for James. All she finds is Evelyn. Evelyn tells her some lies and tells her to beat it. Luckily, she Billie Jeaned instead into the bushes. Major Briggs is back, coming into the police station to talk more about the White Lodge. This time he says, I believe I was taken to the White Lodge, but I don't remember anything. I'll be in the shadows. With Donna, basically, 2 different shadows though. Lana's back doing her teen witch spell. All the guys are falling in love with her. The mayor, Dwayne, busts through the police station with a shotty. He wants to kill Teen Witch. She's kind of with Jacoby. You see, we have at the return of Dr. Jacoby and the return of Jerry Horn. They've both been called in to fix Ben's noodle. He's still playing war. Dwayne says, I'll shoot the hippie. She kisses him all over. They're going to go adopt a child. Doc Hayward sits down Dick and Andy. He makes them both cry. He says his mom was a chambermaid, died in childbirth. I've only heard chambermaid twice in my life, I believe. Season 1 of Twin Peaks and now season 2. Remember when Catherine said, I'm not some chambermaid looking for a tumble in the broom closet. Lucy kills a fly. It's the most blood on a fly ever. Catherine tells Pete, remember my dead brother? Get a load of this. Pete flips out. Okay, so Andrew Packard is alive. Thomas Eckhart is coming for him. Guess what we smash cut to? Villain shot with the flames in his glasses. Double Play is a dumb name. I think we're going to rename this one Bloodfly Chambermaid. Episode 22, Slaves and Masters, directed by Diane Keaton. You know, the director of Heaven, one of my favorite movies. And this is a pretty good episode too. It's another Peyton and Engels. Yesterday we closed. We got to see Wyndham Earle for the first time. And then Donna was hiding in the bushes. And now the cops are there. Evelyn and Malcolm are laying the tracks for the frame. Cut to the bar. The bar, that's where they're hiding. James and Donna are trying to figure out their next move. Very cool Diane Keaton touches throughout. All the soldiers at the bar smoking the same cigars, all pointing the same direction. Albert's back in town. And he's got a bunch of bad news about Josie. But he does probably one of the first on-screen imitations of David Lynch. He comes in to also tell him a bunch of Wyndham Earle news. But he says, Gordon says, and I quote, I'm worried about Coop. So no more guesswork. Hank and Norma humped. Nadine comes in from almost winning a wrestling tournament, jumps right in bed with him, professes her love for Mike, and says, I'm cool with this. Kind of freaks out Norma. I don't know why she had a bra on. She had covers up to here. There should have been no bra straps, but that's okay. Josie is full on maid, slave. Thomas Eckhart calls her, flat out just calls her. Pete comes in with a comedy routine with all this laundry. Coop happens to have a little baggie of tweezers in his pocket after he helps Pete paprika, goulash. Plops it down and then realizes that code. Lucky I've got this stuff. Takes a little sample. Ben is still crazy. Jerry says he's actually kind of fun this way, which Audrey puts the kibosh on that instantly. Thomas Eckhart, even bolder than the phone call, shows up and they're talking about bartering for Josie in front of Josie. Slaves and bulldozers. Nope, that's Soundgarden. Slaves and Masters. Wyndham Earle's whooping on Leo. We saw a peek of him yesterday, and we've heard his voice, and we've heard tell of him. Not today. We get to see a full-on monologue. He's got a bamboo stick. He's whipping around. He's being crazy. He meows on Leo with a little nose thing, too, almost like the beginning. Ain't that the truth? He shot collars him up. He slaves and masters him up. We find out that Pete Martell, the lovely Jack Nance, I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary. I own it. It's okay if you don't. I don't even know if it's online. It's kind of obscure. It's a documentary on Jack Nance and his death/murder. Anyways, Pete Martell is a chess champion, so he's going to help Coop. Coop almost runs into Wyndham Earle. It is whack as shit. You would think an FBI genius who is being taunted by an FBI genius would have his antenna up, but no, they walk right by each other. Yeah. Wyndham needs a king, though. Nope. Wyndham needs a queen, though. More trickery that he made Leo right up. Meow. Episode 23, The Condemned Woman. And we got quite a few. But we have 2 non-condemned women right up the front. Trisha Brock, it's her second script. She wrote this. Trisha, it's been good. Leslie Linka Glatter. It's her 4th. It's her final. Leslie, 07 to you as well. And boy, did she go out with a bang. Pete and Andrew are having fun catching up. He makes him a pancake smile. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it. Everyone loves it. Catherine doesn't. Josie, for the first time, sees her dead husband, Andrew Packard. She faints. This is a rough episode on Josie. Ben is going to save the weasel. The pine weasel, that is. And Billy Zane's here. Coop goes and talks to Josie. He's like, you better turn yourself in by 9 o'clock tonight because I'm not arresting you right now because of Harry. Big Ed officially gets dumped by Nadine. Big Ed goes and officially proposes to Norma. Norma goes to divorce Hank. Josie's awake and talking to her ex-dead husband. He tells her, you're screwed. He just mind fucks her. You gotta go talk to Eckhart. Catherine gets in there and just messes with it even more. She even leaves a little gat out and she snags it. Pete has came up with a chess move that'll take 4 or 5 moves no matter what for a death of a piece. Wyndham's not gonna like that. Speaking of, Wyndham has sent out 3 ripped letters to 3 condemned women. They're all gonna meet at the Roadhouse tonight. Andrew Packard and Thomas Eckhart share an elevator. It is amazing. I've never enjoyed that scene more than right now today. If it's a battle, Andrew wins. He presses stop on the elevator. I'm alive! Really kooky. They have this whole thing, and he is like, better go talk to Josie. He goes to leave. He's already left the elevator. Oh, Thomas? He turns around. Bye. Coop's going to arrest Josie. He hears arguing and fighting, gunshot. He goes in. Thomas Eckhart stands up. He's shot and he dies and he falls down to reveal Josie. She's got Coop in her sights. He's got her in her sights. It's a standoff. Sheriff Truman comes in. So it's barking orders at his girlfriend. She dies. Harry runs to her and holds her. He's like, she's dead. Coop's standing there. They disappear. Bob comes out from behind the bed. What happened to dead Josie? For you playing along at home, your antenna should have just went up. Not what happened to Josie. What happened to dead Josie. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to be rapid annoyance. Then the arm comes out, probably saying, God, the most annoying character is finally dead. Is there anything we could do to even make this better? Leslie says, as a matter of fact, there is. We go down to the dresser drawer, and in the doorknob is fucking Josie. For life. For death. I got a few other characters I'd like to knob, and not in the Shelley Johnson way. Episode 24, Wounds and Scars, directed by James Foley. His only episode. That dude directed At Close Range, Fear, Glengarry Glen Ross. Who's that girl? He just passed away, too. That sucks. Barry Pullman wrote this. He's got one more left in him. This opens with a weird intro that this is crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. It's like a cold open, but it's not attached to the episode. It's 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Usually just watch the episode, or I watch the Log Lady intro by itself. But this go-round, I've been clicking on Show All, which does Catherine recap next episode preview. But in that, those 3 bangers that are attached to every episode, this one was a 4-banger. And basically what it was Coop doing this, giving us the rundown of ding dong, this stuff, this happened. But for real, we open with smooth jazz and drunk Harry. We're going to go back to that numerous times. Wyndham gets his chess move. He's pissed. I told you he'd be pissed. This isn't a move. This is a trick. It's Leo, just for the fun of it. Heather Graham comes to town. That's pretty cool. Josie's autopsy. They don't know how she died, but she weighed 65 pounds at death. How's that possible? I don't know. Wyndham Earle comes in with 2 disguises. The first one's okay. Tricks Donna. Acts like he's her dad's store mate. Leaves him with a chess move. We get 2 Twin Peaks tattoos. Not that one. We got the 3 triangles on the Major's back of his neck. We have a different set of triangles on the back of the Log Lady's leg. He puts them on the chalkboard. They mean something, but no one knows what. Nadine is breaking up with Ed with Jacoby. They're trying to let her know this is more than a breakup. This is a divorce. You know what she realizes? I'm blind in my left eye. Sheriff Truman's drunk as hell, doing some crazy-ass acting. It's okay. We love you, Aunt Keen. Coop meets Annie. He sees her scar. Probably half the title. But before he even sees her or that, Wyndham is sitting right across from him. I'm so offended. One of my favorite characters of all time is Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Dale Cooper, full name. And that's not my Coop. That's like Coop. At least put Annie out there first. How's Annie? Then you could have at least, story-wise, have said, oh, he's blinded by the light. Nadine and Mike try to sneak into the Great Northern. She smashes the bell. And at the very end, we go back to Harry. He's drunk as hell. He's being guarded by his homie. Someone knocks him out. It's Eckhart's sexy assistant. She takes down her hair and takes off her drawers, gets into bed with Harry. And that's how it ends. It looks like she's a rapper. I can't read that copy. Can you expand that? A rapper? I guess that's what the teleprompter says. I guess she's a rapper. Episode 25, On the Wings of Love. Directed by Dwayne Dunham. He has one left in him too. We open right where we cut off with the rapper. I think that's only supposed to be 1P. And she's got something in her stocking. She rubs it on Harry's sleeping lips. She rubs it on her waking lips. They kiss. He hallucinates of Josie. And she strangles him, but one thumb. The old one thumb. And then he just beats her ass. And then he finds out it's a woman. He's like, whoa. They go back to the station house. He's hungover. He's like, whoa. And then Coop is like, sexual jealousy. We got a lot of David Lynch this episode. It's a double-double. We not only get a double thumbs up, we get 2 double thumbs ups. And one of those is Coop is back on the force, the federal force. Harry S. Truman got one last present from Josie. It's a bonsai tree. Really, it's a microbug from Wyndham. But they're going to get him, but now he knows all of their plans. Pursue, capture, incarcerate. Donna's spying on her mom. Her mom's hanging out with Ben like all the time. She even got a flower delivery. Doc Hayward plays it off legit. Not legit enough. She knows. But while stewing and spying, she gets a postcard from James. She reads that postcard, and we hear it in James's voice. Not only James's voice, but Just You starts playing. Instrumental, but still. Leo and Wyndham are doing the cards thing. They cut out the queens and the king, and he's got all those little cards. It's just all prep work for Miss Twin Peaks. This is a fallen in love episode. Audrey is falling in love with Billy Zane. They're talking about hammers and nails and flights and sunsets. But at the double R, Coop is painfully falling for how's Annie? Shelley's like, oh, look over them. And Harry's like, look at them. But the monster of all fallen loves, Gordon Cole meets Shelley Johnson. And he can hear her. But before he knows that, who is that? Shelley Johnson! And her face one day is priceless. He doesn't have to continue on with the loudness because he can hear her completely regular. Coop has been doodling the triangles into one thing. Oh yeah, that's from Owl Cave. We gotta go to Owl Cave. They go there, there's owls. Andy hits the mark, some stuff happens. They get the pole with my tattoo. Then they just leave? That's what they refer to around the border of here as Odale Chingavato Way. What gives? So they bounce. Wyndham shows right up. He knows what to do. He sees the tattoo. He notices that there's an upside down image up there. So he matches it. And then a whole lot of shaking going on. Shit's falling. Credits. Variations on Relations. Probably one of my favorite titles. Episode 26. Jonathan Sanger directed it. It says one and done. Sorry, I don't have time for shenanigans today. What are shenanigans? A tedious and often treacherous trick? That's not right. We open with the cops at Owl Cave. Hawk notices footprints that were the same from the blackout fire. It's Wyndham Earle. Cut to Wyndham Earle. He's telling a story of the White Lodge and the Black Lodge. It's a banger of a story. And Leo's listening. And guess what? Ted Raimi? Ted Raimi's also listening to the story. I forgot to tell you, Catherine got a puzzle box from Eckhart. She can't figure it out. Pete's trying. He can't figure it out. Miss Twin Peaks is going on. It's going on a lot in this episode. Coop asks Annie on a date. He gets a tingling sensation in his toes and his stomach. He's getting ready to bounce. Shelley happens to say a poem out loud. He's like, where'd you get that? And she goes, oh, it's just part of a poem I got. She happens to have it on her. She shows it to him. What's this? Oh, it's a 3-stripped poem. Audrey and Donna have the other halves. I need those. I need this. I need those. He goes back to the station house. Major Briggs is there. They find out the poem written by Leo Johnson. They talk about owl stuff with Briggs. He says, after one of the coolest graphics ever, I will help. The graphic is like a Grim Reaper inverted hieroglyphs, space, owls. Back to Ted Raimi. This time he's drunk and in a pond, and Leo's, he can't use his arms, but he's feeding him booze. Wyndham's like, screw this. Shock you, shoot you, dead. Ben gives a talk to the judges of Twin Peaks about this should be environmentally based, because that's his thing right now. Nadine winks with her one eye. It's pretty awesome. Coop goes on a nature study with Annie. It's romantic. It's on the lake. Ducks on the pond. They kiss. Wyndham sees it. Donna has dinner with her folks. She brings up the going-ons of Ben and his roses. Dick has a wine tasting contest. He dips his weasel nose into the wine, and then we're back to the gazebo. We haven't been there in a while. They've got no bomb squad, but they got this big crate that says open me or pull me. Coop jerry rigs it, shoots it open. Ted Raimi dead. Episode 27, The Path to the Black Lodge, directed by Stephen Gyllenhaal as Jake and Maggie's father. And boy, are there some cool directorial touches on this one. We open with dead Ted Raimi and his roadie. The roadie's bringing one time up to speed. It makes Andy cry. We cut to Ben and Doc Hayward having a heart-to-heart about his heart and his heart. One's good, one's in trouble. Stop sniffing around my wife, bitch. John Justice Wheeler, he has to bounce in his own jet airliner. Our king, Coop, is rounding up all the queens. Bring him to the station. We got to talk about this Wyndham fella. Y'all ladies need to be careful. Coop has the early onset signs of malaria. Don't worry, he's not sick. He's just in love. Speaking of jazz hands, we got an old lady at the diner. She gets one of these things. We get a lot of Major Briggs, and this is another cool directorial thing. They're going over notes. They found a video of Wyndham on his downward spiral. Catherine's still trying to figure out that box. Pete dropped it. It kind of opened. Now they figured it out with a birthday. It also kind of opened. They smashed it. Kind of opened. Third layer now. Coop goes to Mac on Annie. They're kissing. A whole bus bin just falls and breaks. We get to see really slow motion maple syrup just dripping. Good job, Steven. Major Briggs goes on a walk. Wyndham catches him with the old me and Leo in a horse tricking him in the woods. Tranquilizer shoots him. Coop's still going on about love. He's looking out the window. What happens to him? Doesn't last long. A lot of Miss Twin Peaks going on. Ben's trying to talk Audrey to going into it for business reasons. Annie says she might go. They actually go to a celebrate little dance, and right when she says she's going to enter it, the giant appears. Audrey's a virgin. Not anymore. Her Aunt Pete drives her out to go do the wild thing on his private jet. While that's happening, guess what happens to Pete? Episode 27, or episode 20 of season 2, we end with a lot of airy, breezy, open, empty shots. We cut to some interiors. Now we're interior. Phones are ringing. It's just really breathing. Oh, from the horse move, tied him up, spin him around, give him truth serum. He talks about the path to opening the Black Lodge. And after all that airy, breezy exteriors and interiors, we cut to what one might refer to as, oh, that was cool timing, the path to the Black Lodge. We see Bob's hand come out, and then he is out. And in the ring of these little painted rock tar circle, we see a reflection of the Red Room, aka the Black Lodge. Curtains. Ha! Get it? Curtains, curtains. Episode 28 is Miss Twin Peaks, second to last, written by Barry Pullman, his fourth and final, directed by Tim Hunter, third and final. Both of you, thank you for your service. We open with Leo and the Major, both tied up. Leo frees the Major. Save Shelley. He stumbles off. Wyndham comes back. He's doing whiteface like that fat dude. He's kind of bummed, but not too bad. He has a bag of tarantulas. And we end that scene with Leo stressing out, holding twine in his teeth, which we show all the way up to a now cage of tarantulas right above his head. Coop finally tells Truman what he saw when Josie died. He saw Bob, and he thinks she died of fear, and that's how Bob slipped into our world. Fear. Pinkle's got his third job. Pinkle Squiggy. He's the choreographer of Miss Twin Peaks. They're doing rehearsals. Hawk finds Briggs stumbling through the forest. Coop humps Annie marital-wise. And Alana gave a handy to Dick Tremaine. Hey, I've done the same thing with Elena. Langla de Langla, what up, girl? They go back to the station house. Andy's fixated on that map. Well, no, it's not a map yet. Well, it is to Wyndham. Agent Cooper. Agent Cooper. No one will listen to him. He even knocks over the bonsai plant. Breaks, they find the microphone. This bonsai's not from Josie. But right before that, while they're talking to the Major, he says, "Save the Queen. Love and fear open the door." And Cooper, fear and love? Two lodges, white and black? What if fear opens one and love opens the other? And then he provides the worst line of dialogue in all of these fine Twin Peaks episodes. After he says all that, which is clear, he's already said, I think fear opens the Black Lodge, like 4 scenes prior to this. He gives that whole spiel. Two, fear, love. Sheriff Truman's like, huh? And he goes, I don't know, it's just something that just occurred to me now. Like, what in the fuck? Someone needs to George Lucas that last line out of that scene. Miss Twin Peaks. We got singing, we got dancing, we got speeches. Everyone's doing their thing. There's 2 log ladies. That's weird. The butch one knocks out Bobby Briggs. The festivities go on. Annie wins. You can tell Coop is weirded out about that. The lights go out. Strobe lights come on. Smoke bombs go off. Flash bombs go off. A weighted bag of sand falls on Nadine's head. Everything's over. Annie's gone. That second log lady was Wyndham Earle in his best disguise yet. Andy finally gets to Coop and says, I know what that is. It's the map. And that is almost the end of Twin Peaks. Episode 29. Remember, the pilot is Zero. Beyond Life and Death. Mark Frost wrote this with Peyton and Engels. It is a well-known fact that Lynch didn't pay much attention to it. I bet you anything, he shot 20 pages. There's some stuff in here. We open with Lucy and Andy recapping the previous day, all done in a oneer. Law enforcement's trying to figure out what's going on. They're fixated on the map. Ronette Polanski comes in. We get a little bit of everyone, which is pretty cool. Even Leo, he gets 2 seconds of screen time. Ben Horn's wife? No James. Pete's coming in talking about the log lady stole my truck, 12 sycamores, 12 rainbow trout. Wyndham's got Annie. He's at the 12 and 12. He brings her to the trees. As soon as she goes through there, she just goes, and you can see the zap. We cut to Nadine and Mike. They're bandaged up from the previous night and snapped out of it. I don't even know who Mike is. Ben's at the Haywards. Luckily, Doc Hayward is back from the head wounds to create a head wound of his own. He smashes that fool right into the fireplace, and he gets to go mad. Coop and Harry are on the trail. Coop gets zapped as well, not in the circle. Just see him go, I must go alone. Audrey's chained up. Civil disobedience. Andrew and Pete, they come in. They're dead. They're dead. We say goodbye to Bobby and Shelley. They're doing a little rough funness. Jacoby brings Sarah to talk to Briggs.
I am in the Black Lodge with Dale Cooper.
Anyways, we're in the Black Lodge. People are there, people are not there, people are disappearing, dissolves, hard cuts. Annie's there. No, it's Caroline. It's a mishmash of the two. At one point, Coop's having a face-to-face, and it goes, Annie, Caroline, Laura, Wyndham. Wyndham wants Dale's soul. That may or may not be in accordance to Black Lodge rule, lore, law. Bob says it's no good, but it's hard to trust bad guys, because we saw the flames. Either way, wow, steals Wyndham's soul. And while that's going on, a lot of Twin Peaks iconic imagery. Now there's 2 Coops. Doppelganger. He's kind of chasing around him for a while. He does stop at one point to look directly at us at home, the viewers. 2 Coopers, 2 Chalfonts. But then no one's there. Coop, Annie, laying outside in the sycamores. That's our end of Annie. She's at the hospital. She's fine. I'm sure she's fine. Coop is getting bed rest. He has to brush his teeth. He says it twice. 2 completely different cadences. Then he headbutts the mirror. He headbutts Bob, headbutts himself. Credits. That's the freeze frame. And that's it. The best TV show of all time. I wish I could keep going, but March is done. I know 5 people watched along with me that I know of. There could be more, so that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll make one more, like an April Fool's Day bonus episode.